It was the wise Greek philosopher Aristotle who said, "Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution." It's another Friday edition of Your Jamaica magazine, and in today's program, excellence is on the agenda. Coming up in a few, we visit two schools, one in Montego Bay and the other in St. Thomas, that are fostering excellence in their students. Stick around. You don't want to miss a second of today's show.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, July 5. Jamaica will be intensifying its efforts to raise global awareness of the need for climate resilience. Prime Minister Andrew Holness reaffirmed his commitment to the task as he held bilateral talks with United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. The two met yesterday during the 40th regular meeting of heads of government of CARICOM, now on in St. Lucia. Mr. Holness updated the Secretary General on plans to implement the recommendations of the UN Climate Action Initiative. Jamaica is co-chair of the initiative along with France and Qatar. The nations have been assigned to help raise $100 billion in support of the global climate action. Prime Minister Holness has underscored the importance of replenishing the Green Climate Fund, asserting that it is necessary for developed countries and the private sector to donate more to climate change initiatives. However, he points out that progress is being made on the climate finance and carbon pricing workstream on which Jamaica is co-lead. In his meeting with the UN Secretary General, Mr. Holness said he was working to leverage support for the floating of climate resilience bonds, which would attract the private sector. The UN Secretary General acknowledged the work being done by Mr. Holness and thanked him for being a part of the initiative. The CARICOM Heads of Government meeting concludes today after 3 days of discussions on matters relating to regional security, Venezuela, and Small Island Developing States Resilience Foundation, among other issues. Mr. Holness is scheduled to return to Jamaica tomorrow. Approximately $450,000 is being spent to purchase high-tech software and related equipment to support the rollout of the National DNA Database. One of the equipment being purchased will automate DNA processing, while another, the Maxwell RSC-48, has the capacity to conduct 48 DNA tests in 30 minutes. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says this will allow for faster and more efficient analysis by officers. Dr. Chang says since the start of 2019, approximately 461 samples have been submitted to the island's forensic lab. He adds that the work of the lab helped to secure 22 convictions in the Montego Bay Circuit Court recently.
So if you find a DNA sample and a ballistic sample on a firearm matching from the firearm with a particular individual, then that person's case is settled. And what we have to do to ensure we can continue to proceed along these lines is to strengthen the investigative arm of the police force so that we have investigators who understand how to apply this knowledge and use this knowledge effectively.
Dr. Chang was speaking on Wednesday during a tour of the new building called Annex at the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine. This is on schedule for completion by the end of July and will house the National DNA Database. Micro, small, and medium-sized MSME manufacturers will soon be able to benefit from a new loan facility offered by the National Export-Import EXIM Bank at an interest rate of 4.75%. State Minister with Responsibility for Commerce, Floyd Green, says this 4.75% will be the lowest interest rate available on the market to MSMEs.
We're now unveiling a new facility. We're seeking to go to 600 million. We're going to start with 400 million that we're going to give to the EXIM Bank to online into the micro, medium, small enterprise sector, largely focusing on our manufacturers.
Meanwhile, as the government pushes to make it easier to register a business, Minister Green says persons will be able to do so online by the end of July. This will provide budding entrepreneurs with the option of not going into the company's office off Jamaica. Plans are also afoot to establish 12 kiosks at several tax offices across the island to enable the registration of businesses with the COJ. Minister Green was speaking at a private sector organization of Jamaica Access to Finance Facilitation panel discussion on Wednesday. Jamaicans are being encouraged to seek out opportunities in the global multi-billion-dollar esports industry. Chief Executive Officer of local technology firm T-Tech, Christopher Record, cites esport as a lucrative global industry that offers opportunity for investment locally.
There's something called the Jamaica Esport Initiative. I mean, it exists. They actually are looking to bring the World Olympics of esports here. I mean, you don't need no field or nothing. All you need is an arena. You need everybody sitting down there, some massive screens, and about 100,000 people sitting down in their homes all over the world, but connected back here, doing all of this stuff digitally.
He says the $30 billion esport industry has seen persons over the past 6 years being paid millions in prize money for playing games. He is urging Jamaicans to find ways to connect to the global sphere and tap into this potential opportunity to create wealth.
How can we take, again, the digital prowess of some of our developers, right? And with our know-how, with conditioning and training and getting people to become fast, how can we digitize that? How can we remix, taking that know-how, putting it in some app or some type of software and selling a billion of it globally?
Mr. Record was participating in a plenary session at the recently concluded Jamaica Diaspora Conference in downtown Kingston. And finally, July 15, 2019 at 4 p.m. is the new deadline for young Jamaicans aged 12 to 16 to apply for the CPFSA's Child Ambassador Program. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency will be selecting 14 ambassadors from each parish to be advocates for other young people. A child ambassador must be a team player with strong leadership skills and should be able to commit to 2 years of volunteerism with the CPFSA to work as part of the Children Advisory Panel. Those who participate will benefit from inclusion in the CPFSA's Summer Employment and Internship Program. They will also be exposed to mentorship, leadership, and personal development training and get the opportunity to represent the CPFSA locally and internationally. For more information and application forms, interested persons may visit the CPFSA's website at childprotection.gov.jm or any of the agency's offices across the island. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
We want our children to understand the importance of physical activity. Based on our Jamaica Lifestyle Survey, 82% is in low-level activity, meaning we're just doing enough to survive. And only 16% is in moderate and 2% in high-level intensity. So we want to get more persons in moderate and vigorous activity. And so we want to encourage them to be more active so that they can get a lot of benefits. Increase academics performance, reduce stress, reduce weight loss, beautiful skin, help you to sleep better. We want it to be more active so that we can have a healthy mind and a healthy body.
Coming up next is a brand new episode of School Zone. In this week's edition, we journey to Western Jamaica to witness excellence. We actually took a trip to the Herbert Morrison Technical High School to learn about 5 outstanding projects that were carried out by members of the engineering club.
All right, Anna Hugh, would you like to demonstrate how rains along a ridge? Excellent job, Anna Hugh.
This is the augmented reality sandbox created by the engineering club at the Herbert Morrison Technical High School. This is one of the 5 projects that will be shown in today's episode of School Zone. Stay tuned after the break for more. School Zone, School Zone, yeah. School Zone, School Zone, yeah. School Zone, School Zone, School Zone.
to another episode of School Zone. As you heard earlier, we're here at the Herbert Morrison Technical High School in St. James, where we're learning about a few projects by the Engineering Club. First up on the program is the Ar Sandbox. And joining me is the geography teacher here, Mrs. King-Cook, who will be telling us more about this.
The Ar Sandbox is actually a technological tool that casts or projects virtual reality onto sand. So it is actually a simulation of topographical features that you can actually manipulate as you move the sand. It is one of the most student-centered tools we have at Herbert Morrison. Students can actually interact and move the sand, and at the same time they can learn and have fun. Before we get to the actual secret of how it operates, there are some things that I would like to show you in terms of how the tool is used. We usually have flat maps that we use. We call them ordnance survey maps. Those maps are two-dimensional, and students have limitations where those maps are concerned. Where the Ar Sandbox is concerned, students can actually interact with the box and create the features that they would normally see on a two-dimensional map. That excites them, and that also enhances and complements the geography as a learning tool.
Really, it's really simple. It's only three main pieces of equipment: an infrared camera that we call the eyes, a projector, and a computer that compiles the information. So the camera judges the depth, which sends that information back to the computer. The computer processes this and sends it back to the projector, which shows you what you see here. And seeing as we use the computer, we can put different functions on. So different keys have different functions. For instance, the 1 key would introduce more liquid to the environment, while the 6 key would change the type of liquid. So we can change it from water to lava to green moss to snow, back to water.
So Ms. Clark, here we have the Herbie Go-Kart. It was a project that was started a couple years back by other students of the engineering club, but wasn't finished because of financial strains that they had. So I and others finished the go-kart as best as possible. As you can see here, we have here the gas pedal, which accelerates the vehicle, the kart, when we apply pressure on the pedal. Then we have the brake pedal, which is used to apply friction to the wheels, which slows down the kart. Then we have the steering, which steers either left or right. Now around here, we have the engine. This is a Honda GX 120 6.5 horsepower engine, and this kart is a dead axle go-kart, which means that it is run by only one wheel. Over here we have the remote kill switch, which I programmed myself, which is used to turn off or turn on the kart from a remote distance. The kill switch is more like a safety device. As we're speaking about safety, here you can see we have our helmet, and safety always comes first. And I like to add that the main purpose of this go-kart is to help persons of the Herbert Morrison Technical High School to learn how to drive, so that when they leave high school they can have their driver's license.
Mr. Cook?
Hi, Ms. Clark.
Thank you for having me.
My ma'am.
All right, so we're now at the buzzer system. And Mr. Cook, the president of the engineering club and teacher here, will be telling us more about this.
This buzzer circuit here is no necessarily special buzzer circuit, but it has an additional feature. It has a referee here, basically, which basically indicates who buzzed first. So if Team Red buzzed first, that signal is sent to this circuit board, which turns on the red light. When the red light is turned on, it prevents the blue light to turn on, whether or not the blue team is pressing. So, Ms. Clark, we're going to give you a practical demonstration of how these circuit boards work. Team Blue, ready? Yes, sir. Team Red, ready? Yes, sir. Listen for me carefully. What is the capital of St. James? Obviously. Team Blue is up first. Team Blue.
Yes, sir. Montego Bay.
Montego Bay, York, Montego Bay is correct. We decided that we wanted to to make a board and make a board that is futuristic, an upgrade from what we had before. We also made it on a next basis. As a teacher, I wanted to have students to do activities, creative activities, because there are times when the activities is boring in their view. So I wanted students to get a feel of what it's like to be on School Challenge Quiz in my class without being on School Challenge Quiz.
Have you ever heard about 3D printing, sublimation printing, and laser engraving? If not, today is your lucky day. We have examples of all three that were produced by the Engineering Club, and we'll be joined by Conrad, who will be showing us examples of these. Over to you, Conrad.
Okay, thank you. So here we have different products and items that were created in the laser engraver. So we have different keychains and necklaces, even little award plaques. These were all done in the laser engraver, which, as its name suggests, uses a laser to chip away at the materials put in, which is usually acrylic or Solitex. Here we have medals that were given out at Sports Day. These were put into the heat press, which is a sublimation machine, and it basically transfers the gas to a solid, which is displayed in the center. Here we have one of my favorite things, the edgelit lamp. Now these edgelit lamps are two parts. So the main part is the acrylic and the second part is the base. Now the acrylic is done in the laser engraver like all our acrylic pieces, and the bases. Some of them are pre-owned, some of them were purchased, while some of them were created by our wonderful 3D printer. Now this 3D printer can do a marvel of things. It can create little keychains and trinkets, it can create full-blown machine parts, and it can even create functioning toy vehicles. What it does is it melts a small wire of filament and through a little spout takes its time and works its way up, printing from bottom to top. I'd like to add that these pins and keychains and trinkets that we make, we don't just keep them for ourselves, obviously. We sell them to the school at a discounted cost, and we sell them to other schools and institutions at lower costs.
Thanks again, Conrad. So we only have one more interesting project for you, and that's the virtual tour of the Herbert Morrison Technical High School. And our friend here, Anthony, will be taking you through that tour.
Today we are showing an interactive simulation of the school. It incorporates different things from different members of the engineering club. Today we have Kobe Jordan. He's our 3D modeler. He designs our characters. What he has here is the principal he's working on, the principal of our school, Mr. Adams. All right, we also have Marcus Cohen. He works on the full model of the school, all the details of the school. He went out and got pictures and measurements of the entire school and then recreated it in a 3D software. Then we have Kevon Lee, our texture. He takes the models and applies realistic looking materials to them to make it look as realistic as possible, having all the scratches and dents of the school. And I do the programming. It allows for the character movements. As you can see, you can walk around the 3D space as much as you want. You see the AI, like different students in the school walking around, going about their daily lives. The code allows them to move around the 3D space. After I get the models from KJ, our vice president and 3D modeler, you can see the school is to scale. As you can see, when you stand up, you are to scale to the school. So are the characters in the simulation. Here is the document center for a school. Down there, the area that we are looking is the visual arts area, and over there is the TD rooms. So you can see it's a fairly accurate model of the school.
Boy, it's so sad that we have to close the program for today, but I know you will all agree with me that we had a fulsome time here at Herbert Morrison Technical High School. But just before we close the program, we have a quick question we want to ask the president and founder of the 3-year engineering club. Why all of this? I've never seen anything like this. They're cut above the rest. Why?
As a teacher of electrical technology, I have seen a lot of talent in my years of teaching. I just think that it is my duty to help bring forth that talent.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cook, and all the best. I have great expectations for the club. And that's it. To have your school featured in School Zone, simply email me at sclark@gis.gov.jm. I'm looking forward to see your email. Until then, take care.
School Zone, School Zone, School Zone, School Zone, School Zone, School Zone.
I'm sure you've heard it time and time again that excellence is not a skill, it is an attitude. If you ever had any doubt in your mind about this, here's a feature that will surely erase all second thoughts.
The License Center of Excellence caters to students post-primary 13 years and up who have been assessed and who have been diagnosed to be on the intellectually disabled spectrum. That means they're either mild to moderate. The Digital Foundation was kind enough to give us this wonderful school so St. Thomas can cater more to these children who need special attention. This institution opened its doors September 2017. We have a wonderful team here. We have teachers who love children. We have an administrative and an ancillary staff who loves children. Most naturally, the campus coordinator loves children. So we are here catering to the needs of these children because we believe in adding value. These children have a lot to offer, but you can only unearth it with patience, with love, and with care. Because if they don't trust you, you can't win them. And so, we want these children to be independent. We want them to contribute to their families, to their communities, and the society at large. And so we're preparing them for the working world. So at the License Center of Excellence, we are skill-based. There is room for improvement, and we welcome the hands to share so that we can care more. We offer theater arts. Yes, the children can do a little. We communication. We do math, but not the math you know of trigonometry. No, we are teaching them how to balance their books so they know a lot of measurement and of course money. We offer to them home economics, food preparation, and a little clothing and textile. As you walk around our lovely campus, it's green vegetation. So we do a little bit of agriculture and we're able to give to our kitchen, and the children can get to take home. Of course at a cost, because we're teaching them that everything comes with a cost, because we need money to do other things. My students are interesting and we listen to them. One boy said to me, "Miss, me no want the way you do the school and I'm want to fill your block." And so I went out into the wider community and we're actually teaching our students how to lay blocks, and they're enjoying it. In special, a lot of emphasis is placed on life skills. And life skills is taught in all the subject areas with extra emphasis coming from the guidance departments. So of course, License Center of Excellence is the place to be.
My classroom is a corporate space. I facilitate learning. My students learn from each other. They help each other during the learning process. Enabling them, I make certain that I encourage them that there's nothing that they cannot do. And the motivation that they get from being a part of my classroom, the fact that we differentiate learning too in there and tiered activities are used, it makes no child feel left out.
What I love about the License Center of Excellence it's a level playing field. We exclude no one. So all activities, if it means you're to get assistance, be it from a classmate, a teacher, or from an ancillary worker, you're going to get the assistance because we believe in excellence. Excellence for all.
Speeding through life and the traffic lights till somebody get hurt and the tears start cry. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives. Make the road safe whether day or night, for pedestrians, passengers, cars and bikes. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives.
Hey man, it's our job to keep the road them safe. Have to take care of the youth them so we know them safe. And obey the road code, don't race. No bother with the speeding, cause make face. And check your light them and your tires and brakes. Riders and the pillions who left the helmet. Aye, put on the cell phone, no send no text. No matter what color they on your plate.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt to keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place when you're on the road.
Hey, follow me. Well, everybody drive good and walk good. Then teach the youth them how to cross good. I beg you obey the road signs, park good. And put the young ones in a car seats, all good. And everybody drive good and walk good. And we say young and old, I beg you cross good. Remember the dark clothes at night, that is not good. From you I use up the sidewalk, it's all good.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt to keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, when you're on the road.
This is the final stop in today's Jamaica magazine. Thanks for joining with us. To watch today's program again, simply visit our website, gis.gov.jm. Don't forget that you're able to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Sandra, reminding you that excellence is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.